Hi everyone, it's Joe here from Lawn Solutions Australia and welcome to this episode of Turf Talk. We're out again in sunny Orange where I'm joined by Ben Sims of Lawn Tips. Ben, thanks for having me back again.
No worries, mate.
So we've done an episode previously with you where we went through your journey and how you've built the channel and how you've built the business that you've built today. But what we're going to focus on today, obviously in the background again, is your par 3 golf hole that you constructed on your new property just outside of Orange. So we're going to go through kind of the process. It's pretty cool what you've built here. So, I mean, people can follow along and check out the visual of you building this. And if they do, they'll understand that quite a lot went into this, particularly when you're trying to do it by yourself. So what was the inspiration for this idea? Was it purely a content-related decision at the start, was it?
When I was an apprentice, I always said I wanted to own a golf course.
Okay.
And my twin brother went, "You're an idiot."
Yeah. Brothers do.
Yeah. And he said, "That's just stupid, mate. The amount of money you'd need to do that and, you know, obviously members and stuff." So, and I was like, yeah, it's probably true. And then I thought I could always build myself something at home in the future. And I never thought it would happen, to be honest. Like, I didn't think I'd have the resources to be able to do something like that. And then the YouTube started and sort of became a reality, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the first job you had to do here? Was it a design process at the start? Was it for you? Was that something that you enjoy doing, or you got some help in to do that? Or
I don't really like designing.
Okay.
It's not my cup of tea. But I still did design it. Like, I basically designed where the green was going to be down there.
Yeah.
When I first walked onto this property and we were looking at purchasing it, I could see exactly what we got here, basically.
So you had golf hole in mind when you first...
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I walked to this paddock and went, yeah, there'll be a green in that for sure, 100%, just the way it was laid out.
Yeah.
But someone did, do an actual design for me when I put up my first post, and he said, I reckon the green should actually go on this side. I had it around the other side.
Yep.
And he showed a couple of different ideas.
This was a cow or a horse paddock, so there's a lot of, I don't know what the base was here, kike and pretty much everything under the sun.
A lot of that, Phalaris and a couple of other, just paddock grasses, but a lot of kike and cooch.
So what's the kill process for you when you're putting in such fine turf like bent grass, ryegrass and tiff-tuff?
Just glyphosate.
Heaps of it.
And I went nuts on it. Like, when I say nuts, I turned it over with the Harley rake.
Yeah.
And then first up, I put some glyphosate out, Roundup, then Harley rake. Then waited probably a couple of weeks, hit glyphosate again, Harley raked it again. I probably did that 6 times on this area here. And there's still a little bit of common cooch poking its head up. Yeah. Just over in one corner. And all I did was get a paintbrush and just painted some glyphosate on it. And
how do you go through... That bee's back again. How do you go through... Like, this is the big job. Like, we're talking a couple of thousand metres of turf on the fairway. A green that's probably 300-400 square metres, whatever it is.
All up, it'd be the greens 500 and the surrounds is 500. It's about 1,000.
You're doing this by yourself. You need some pretty impressive machinery as well. And if you check out the channel that you get, you got some pretty impressive machinery.
Very lucky with what the machinery I've got up there.
What kind of equipment is involved?
So all John Deere gear. So the guys at Hutchin & Pearce have I've got a little sponsorship. Yeah. So as soon as I moved into this property, Hutchin & Pearce actually reached out and said, we want you to use our construction gear, our golf course gear, and our mowers. Just to use on the channel, don't have to shout us out. That's what they legit said. But I do because, they've helped me out a ton. Imagine having to hire out that equipment. Yeah. Or I've got a 3.5 ton excavator, a skid steer, which I think it's about a 5 ton one. So it's huge. And then I've got walk behind greens mower, triplex, 0 turn, a lawn tractor, a 46 horsepower tractor. There's also a 24 horsepower tractor in there. Yeah. And there's a couple other bibs and bobs and attachments and stuff.
It's like walking into a John Deere dealership,
It's like a showroom.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's funny. So that's how I've done it, to be honest. I was going to just hire things from Kennards. Yeah. Originally. Yeah. That was my thought process. I'll go and get an excavator for a week or something and just dig out a green. And I was actually originally going to do a push-up green if I didn't have the gear. So I'd basically just get some soil, push it up, wouldn't have even used sand, and just sowed into that. But since I had the gear...
We'll start with the green, because this was the first thing that you did, wasn't it? You built the green first. So talk us through the process from go to woe. So you look at it, you spray it out, it's dead, you've got a bare bit of land there. Where do you even start with something like that? Because for now, it just looks like grass. Yeah. But there's a whole system underneath this.
Man. And I was going in with no experience. I'd helped build greens at the course. We did 4 redos of greens, but I wasn't on the equipment. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
I was just there to help put the ag line in, and I was there to look at the levels when they did the levels.
I thought this was something you had
Nah, man,
done
I
yourself
was
before.
guessing as I went.
Okay.
So right. I just figured it out as I went along. Yeah. So even when it came to digging out the soil, I was like, is this the right way to do it? Yeah, I guess it is. So I just dug out a ton of soil, got the laser level out and got my levels, made sure it was all sort of close to what I wanted the green to be. And it was off the cuff. I was scared, I'll be honest. Like I was going to turn out for the channel all right. It's going to look dodgy, but it's not too bad.
The excavation process when you're digging it out, like I imagine you're taking a lot of dirt out of there. Yeah,
I would have probably taken out, it would have been 300 tonne probably of dirt.
Yeah, and that goes on the property somewhere, does it? Or
what did I do with that?
Legally
over the back of the dam.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So I extended out the dam wall a bit.
Yeah,
that's legit where pretty much all of it went.
And so you remove the soil, you're left with basically a big swimming pool of sorts.
Which is what it was at one point.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then is drainage the next step immediately, is it? Or
pretty much. So once you've shaped it and you've compacted your sub base, so you got to compact it a ton, so it obviously doesn't like shift over time.
Yeah.
So I honestly just ran the excavator over ton, the skiddy. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get a roller. Just tracked it, and then we got so much rain that it compacted it.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I was intending to get a roller, but we had that. It was that year that we had. We were getting 300 mil a month or something. It was something stupid. And it was always full of water. It's like a second dam down there at one point. People were like, why aren't you working on the green? I was like, have you seen it? It's just a dam. Yeah. But so that was the process. And then it came to drainage because that used to be a bog hole down there because most of the property actually falls to where that is there. So I always used to get the mower stuck or the gator or something like that. It always gets stuck in there. So
one of your toys stuck.
Yeah, so something always stuck. There's always a video of me getting something out, bogged in that area. Yeah. But so from there, I did a herringbone drain design. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing golf greens, you want everything to fall to sort of one point or 2 points as I did with that green because it's a decent size. So one main line, you got laterals off it. Mm-hmm. Which we did learn about all that in TAFE. Yeah. So I did have experience in that and I helped design it. Mm. We built some greens on the course. So I had an idea with that, but I also got it checked by an engineer in town just to double check all my falls were correct and I was on the right track. Yeah. And he approved it, so I'm good.
Yeah, right.
But I did the drainage. He just dug them out, 100 mil ag line. I think it was about 150 metres worth of ag line.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe it was 200. It was around there somewhere.
But there's a lot of water going there. So
a lot of water, yeah. So we could get 100 mil of rain,
and
you could mow it within 10 minutes of the rain stopping.
Yeah, wow.
Because it just drops out, but it still retains enough moisture in the sand particles and the fine parts that you'll still get moisture in the plant itself. Mm-hmm. It won't just all drop out, and it'll be like dry as toast. But from that, the drainage, and then you bring gravel in.
Yeah, okay.
On top of that.
Now I watched this video, so. It's a lot of gravel you got to bring into it.
Yeah, 100 tonne.
100 tonne.
100 tonne of gravel. Yeah. Which, when you're doing it by yourself in a skiddy, and I had no experience on construction equipment, so I'd never used a skid steer in my life. Yeah. Never used an excavator, so it was an experience.
You good on them now?
I'd say I'm decent. I'm not. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to get paid for it yet, I don't reckon.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but I enjoy using them anyway.
Yeah. So that was just tracking gravel in?
Just tracking gravel in, yeah. And then I got those whacker packers and just compacted it all down. Yeah. Yeah. So
you've dug it out, your drainage is in, your gravel base is in. Now, that gravel, is that part of a spec that you're trying to follow? Or?
Yeah, it was between 5 to 7 mil gravel, I think the size. Also 7 or 5 to 9 mil, so I got 7 mil gravel down there. You don't want it too fine because it drops into your ag line. Okay. It basically just stops the gravel when it's like that coarse from dropping down below and going out into the dam and blocking up your drains, but also stops the sand going down through the gravel and getting further down as well. So it's sort of doing two things at the same time. Plus they call it a perched water table. So having the gravel there also with the sub base as well sort of helps hold a little bit of moisture in there as well. So when you do get a big downfall, you still got a little bit of water sitting in there, enough that your roots can jump down to that lower level. And if you've looked at the greens, I've done a few reels on Instagram with the root system on this green, and they're about close to 300 mil, so almost down to the gravel.
The roots from the
root system on the green.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I put a few videos up on Instagram, and one got like 25 million views or something.
Is that right?
Of me shaking the roots and showing how the root system looks.
Yeah. The sand you use, so the sand comes after the gravel?
Yep.
So you compact your gravel. Do you have to re-laser level the gravel then, or you just smooth it out and you trust what's
You
below
smooth it out. I checked it with the laser level. Just
Yeah.
went around and marked, because I put some posts in, some surveying posts about every 4 metres or something,
Yeah,
enough that
okay.
the skiddy could go down
Yeah.
and I could turn around and stuff. And I just marked out of my posts on the laser level. So yeah, I went and double checked the levels and just raked some into other spots. And
then it was time for sand?
yeah.
Now, are we using USGA spec sand? Or?
I didn't actually get proper USGA sand.
Yeah.
I got some stuff from Ugara, because USGA sand was $90 a tonne.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the stuff from Ugara was $35 a tonne.
Yeah, right.
And I went, I'm going Ugara.
Easy decision.
Yeah. So I think the sand up cost me about $15,000
Wow.
from
Okay.
memory. Is that right? 10,000, sorry.
Yeah,
And then the
okay.
gravel was another 5. So
Yeah. And the spec, because with the sand, so I understand it needs to be a certain, the
Yeah, it
grain needs to be a
does.
certain size, doesn't
which
it?
it was nearly on par with what USGA sand is. There's
Yeah.
a couple more bits of coarse in there,
Yeah.
which means it just would drop the water through a little bit quicker. But it was that close that I was happy. I don't have members on here every day of the week.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
walking over top
You
of
don't
it.
have to answer
so-
to a board.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I think I'll be okay if it's not
And
USGA.
sand depth,
300 mil.
300 mil across the board.
Was it 300? Yeah, it's 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so we put the sand in, we compact it, we level that out. Cultivar choice, was that an easy thing for you? Did you know all along sort of what direction you were going to go as a greens grass?
I am Denard for a while. I was looking at Pure Distinction
Yeah.
for a while, and then I was looking at some A4, A5 bent grasses. I wasn't really looking at the Pen ones at the time. There was, because we used to use Pen Cross, which is really old. It'd
Yeah.
be like 20 years old.
Yeah.
We used to use on the course in town, but real disease, a lot of disease can hit it pretty easily. But it was more just, I wanted to have a mix of them instead of just having the one type. So
Yeah.
I just ummed and ahed and did a bit of research, and I found the ones that I had were pretty good for our climate,
Yeah.
aggressive as well, so they'd actually fill in quite nicely. And the plan is for the bent grass to start to creep into the ryegrass a little bit, so I can get a bit of a collar on the
Yeah,
outside.
we noticed that already, and I got a shock. It looks quite nice at a 12, 14, 15 mil height.
It does.
Yeah.
It actually looks really nice.
Yeah.
It's got quite I don't know how to explain it. It's got a bit of a sponginess to it, but it's not
Yeah.
spongy. Like, it's just thick and
Yeah.
lush.
Yeah. And what height do you cut your green at?
3.5 mil at the moment.
3.5 mil.
The goal is to have it at about 2.5 mil.
What's the golf course normally run with bent grass?
About around that 3
Around
mil.
that 3
I know.
mil,
I got they got the Masters on, and they're cutting at 3 mil on the dot
Okay.
at the moment. Some
Righto.
PGA places will cut it. I think the lowest I've heard, which was one of the PGA, one of the US Opens, was at 1.8.
It's too quick for
Which
us.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and the amount of disease pressure you get and the amount of water you need to chuck on it when that tends to happen.
That's a general anyway. The shorter you cut your grass, the more work your grass needs.
Exactly.
So,
You need
but
to go
that
nuts.
green would take a fair bit of your time, I'd imagine, wouldn't it? Keeping that looking like it does. Like you'll see it on camera here. You're very critical of your green, but I think it looks great.
It normally looks better though.
It looks better. So the contrast you've got here is pretty cool. So you've got the green, the bent grass, which gives you a lime green sort of colour. Then you've got this really dark collar around the outside, which is straight rye.
Yep, straight ryegrass.
So what's the thinking with ryegrass around the collar? Is that an encroachment thing? Is it a look thing? Is it all of the above? Is it?
a bit of both. So ryegrass has a really high endophyte level in it, so it actually fights off other grass types.
Yeah.
It's like when you overseed cooch and stuff and you leave it for too long, you find the cooch struggles to come back because of the high endophytes in there. So that's why you always try and spray it out end of August instead of looking at, some people do it in November and they're like, why'd my cooch or my cocky never come back? Because the ryegrass started choking it out with that chemical it has. So it'll prevent the tiff tuff getting close to the green.
Yeah.
If you and we won't completely prevent it, but it'll slow it up a ton from getting in there. So that was the main reason for doing it, because I want to do warm season on most of the rest of the property. Just the green, I wanted to have the cool season there.
Yeah.
And it'll keep the ryegrass won't creep into the bent because the bunch type grass as well.
It'll go the other way though.
It won't creep out, no. The bent will go out.
The bent will go out,
but the ryegrass won't go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a nice barrier.
And the colours are pretty...
Yeah, it's a
bonus
nice
there.
colour contrast. Yeah, that ryegrass is just, like as I said to you earlier on, I haven't fertilised that in nearly 15 weeks.
Yeah.
It hasn't even had liquids. It's had nothing.
Because people will see ryegrass in a situation like that and go, I want that for my lawn. But there are some things you've got to be careful of as well, isn't it?
Like I say to people, you need to basically check it once a day.
Yeah.
You need to go out in the late afternoon and see if there's any dry spots. You got to baby it along. If you go on holidays, you need your mate to come over and check to see if your grass dried out.
Yeah.
In summer, like this time of year, I probably wouldn't even have to think about water if we're getting rainfall.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's just summertime.
Yeah.
And if you're in Queensland, it wouldn't even survive.
It wouldn't survive
It'd be
long
dead.
at all. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it'd be gone.
I've seen it drop before. And I guess moving to the other end of the spectrum when it comes to water use, Tiff Tough for the fairway, which we're sitting on now. Now, it's a pretty big fairway, considering the size of the
Close to half an acre. I think it's 1,800 square metres.
Yeah. Yeah. And the choice of Tiff Tough on a fairway, I know there's a few different ways you could have gone. Why'd you land on Tiff Tough?
Huge thing for me with water out here, especially with the bore. And originally when I decided to get this as well, I didn't even know if we had water at the time. So when I originally discussed to you what I should get and what I was thinking, Tiff Tough was at the forefront of my mind because I didn't know if we were going to be running it off just rainwater.
Yeah.
Or what we were going to do. I knew this would be fine, and even if we had a dry spell for a month or two, if we got a lick of rain later, I knew it would pop back and be sweet.
So irrigation timings, how much would you water your bent, your rye, and then compare that to a warm season grass like Tiff Tough?
So I'd water the cool season, so the rye and the bent gets done at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's the same area. Probably 3 times a week in summer, sometimes 4. Sometimes if it's really hot and we get no rain, daily.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas the Tiff Tough, a week after it had established, so it established in a week, I didn't water it for 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
And I was watering that nearly daily.
Yeah.
And this still had colour in it. Like, it went a little bit off on the edges, so I think since I've had it, I've watered it 3 times and I laid it in December.
So it's a horses for courses thing. Like, people see this and they go, it looks good. Like, no doubt the Tiff Tough looks good. They see that ryegrass and they go, oh, look at that colour. Like, this is this. But
the amount of work that has to go into that is ridiculous. And it's never going to self-repair.
Yeah.
You have to overseed it. If weeds get in there's not many herbicides you can knock it with. Like, it's quite... You have to have a lot of time and have to know what you're doing to really get it looking schmick.
So we're in a cold place here now. Not today. It's a beautiful day. I still got a jacket.
But cold for you.
Yeah, it's cold for me. But Orange is probably one of the coldest places in New South Wales. Well, it is almost, I think. And how are you going to find a warm season grass perform here over winter, and what do you plan to do to it to sort of maximise its performance, I guess you'd say? What's your plan with the Tiff Tough over winter here? You'll get a frost every other day here, won't you?
Yeah, exactly. Out of town here where I am is a little bit better than in town.
Yeah.
You get daily in there, and we'll probably get it every 3 days as opposed to daily in there because it's a bit lower.
Yeah.
The Tiff Tough does hold on that a little bit longer because of the high gibberellic acid production that it has. But I'll probably put out some sort of pigment, like some colour guard or something on here.
Yeah.
But that's what I'll do. And the thing is, I'll apply that earlier in the season, like probably in the next week or 2.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about it before. If you do it when it's brown, it's just going to look fake. Whereas if you do it now, it also helps protect against frost to an extent as well.
100% it does, yeah. This is what people don't understand. They wait till their lawn's dawn and go, oh, I need to spray it with colour guard. I need to spray it with colourant. You spot on there. The key is to get in early and kind of wean your grass onto it as it gets.
And so it works like
colour.
that. Even if you do like half the amount and do half another week later or something. Depends on how you want to go about it. A lot of golf courses will do that, do half on the first hit.
Yeah.
See what the colour looks like and then bump it up again in a couple of weeks because it tends to stick around for most of the winter because it's not growing out.
Yeah, that's right. You'll sort of get 10 to 12 weeks-ish out of it if it's not growing.
A huge chunk of winter.
Pretty much
winter.
It's a good point for people though. Like, if they've got a warm season grass in a cooler climate, there's no need to panic about anything. It's going to lose colour. That's what it's going to do. But you're probably best to use a cosmetic like colour guard or like a pigment rather than trying to belt.
And it's not cheating.
That's
the thought process people has is, you're cheating, but like it's going to go brown anyway.
Yeah.
Like you might as well, you're going to lose a lot of colour. You might as well keep it looking nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to protect your turf anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If I kept a liquid fertiliser up to it, like a higher K, not nitrogen, just something a little bit higher K would actually, you'd get a bit more longevity out of it. But and there's no point trying to keep it hold on. So
your fairway's all but done. You've just roughed up some areas around the fairway here with your Harley rake. Your green and your surround's done. We're missing a few tee boxes and we're missing, I think, another fairway down the bottom. So what sort of stages 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 here? What's the plan for the next little bit? Because you don't stop.
No, you always got to be doing something.
Yeah.
But probably I'm planning on doing some retaining walls over winter for the tee boxes.
Yeah.
And then I want to get the Zoysia fairway in towards summer.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a bit warmer here.
Yeah.
We don't really get warm until November.
Yeah.
Like really.
You don't really want to put Segrange or any other Zoysias in until we're consistently
until it
warm.
gets warm, exactly. Yeah, I wanted to get in this year, but one bloke doing projects, sometimes you have big dreams, but you don't quite get there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. The plan is the tee boxes, irrigation for the tee boxes, and then I've also employing my little brother for a couple of days a week as well. Another bloke in the industry.
Yeah.
He'll love it.
Yeah.
So we'll get a ton of stuff done with 2 blokes.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to do a soccer pitch somewhere.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay. And with your tee boxes and your other fairway, you're going to have a few different holes essentially then, won't you? Same green, obviously, but a few different, few different spots you can attack the pin from.
Yep, exactly. So I might even put if we did like a tournament day, you could put 3 pins out there and play it like 9 holes and just rotate around those 3 tee boxes. Yeah. Don't know. We'll see what happens with it. But
what about roughs? Roughs are a funny one. What are you thinking here? Is it just going to be a native grass job, do you think, around here? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I'm still tossing it up. Yeah. It's either going to be zoysia because it's a warm season and it will have that really nice. You've ever seen like those Japanese gardens when they've got all the mad fluffy looking zoysia and stuff like that? I think that would be cool. It's something I've always wanted to try.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't let it go nuts because he'd lose a few golf balls in there.
Yeah.
Joe wouldn't, but
I wouldn't. It's green only. Yeah.
But either that, or I was thinking, you ever seen like the Open and like the real linksy courses where they do fescues and they let it grow really, really long? They don't water it or anything, and it just gets like a real brown stalk in it, or that. So I'm still tossing up what I want to do. I could do a mix of both. Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah. Mate, do whatever you want.
Exactly.
The owner, the manager, the super.
Got no one to ask.
No one to ask, yeah. Oh, well, it's mate, it's looking great. I know. What are you into it now? A couple of years into this project now, are you?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
But I didn't start doing the green, so it's only 12 months old. Right. So I didn't actually start working on the course until 12 months ago.
Yeah, right.
Really, if you think about it, because I was pulling fences out, and pulling out stables up there and trying to get the bore working. Yeah. Because I had to wait for pump to turn up and and then
you're playing farmer for a while.
Yeah, I was just trying to get everything working, getting the irrigation sorted, and so 12 months it's been officially started.
Yeah. Well, it's looking great. We're pretty excited to see where it goes to next.
Thanks, mate.
Again, people can follow along on the Lawn Tips channel to keep up to date with the progress. And mate, it's a beautiful place. We appreciate you having us out here, and we look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thanks for coming, mate. It's good. Appreciate it.